Hello and welcome to Casual Shenanigans Gaming, podcast all about Battlefield, DayZ, all things PC gaming related, and tonight also partially about the PS4. So welcome. I have with us today myself, Germ Gaming, one of your hosts. I'm also joined. I was distracted by the screenshot you just posted.
Nice.
I'm joined
great
by
timing, just in time to like interrupt the whole intro. I posted
Exactly.
the screenshot.
Exactly.
Look, guys, pretty DayZ standalone right there.
I'm joined by Evil Viking 13
That's me, the DayZ screenshot posting guy.
and Joel.
I just got a Vita.
Oh, cool.
Are you serious?
I did.
I've been checking them out on Craigslist because they're so cheap on Craigslist.
Nice.
Like, there are people selling them with like 5 games for like $120.
Oh, nice.
Would you recommend it so far?
Well, the only reason I wanted to get it, not necessarily for the games on the Vita, because I just never play games on portable devices.
You want to stream?
Yes, and I tried it out already, but I'll save that for a little bit later.
Yeah, I'm excited to talk about that. Like the streaming, there's a lot of PS4 temptation going on right here. That's all.
Huge guys, Joel is buying tech just for this podcast. Like, he's so dedicated to just giving you guys the latest and greatest.
I mean,
Thanks, Joel.
I need a new suit, but I'm just
just give me this hour of podcast to convince you.
Yeah, Joel, for hardcore mode, convinced me to buy a PS4.
Yeah, for hardcore mode. with only 2 hearts, not 3.
Yeah, really.
I just got a text from my brother, the one in the army, saying, "How do I get another SIM card for my phone?" He's on a different phone. "How do I get a SIM card for my phone? I lost the one I have."
Wait,
How do you lose a SIM card? What are
By
you doing?
accident?
But why would you? Why is the SIM card like it stays in the phone? That's kind of its thing. Is you put it in the phone and then you leave it. Okay. Okay, guys. If you were leaving comments on the video, it does not appear that I can actually see those comments. Oh no, I do see comments. All right. Hey, people watching. Good old Google. We start the podcast like we mostly do with the news. There's not actually a ton of news tonight. But my second screen just turned off. It's back.
But I like news.
All right, so
We're so organized tonight.
this is an interesting one. Eurocom. They're apparently a PC manufacturer I've never heard of. They have just released the first 12-core, 24-thread laptop server. You heard that correctly. It is a laptop designed to function as a server.
Why?
They say for like tech startup and stuff, but it's also for gaming. It's 12 pounds. It's 12-core processor. It must be an AMD Opteron. I think isn't it the only 12-core processor there is?
That I can think of, unless it's actually on one die.
They just say 12-core processor. I mean, it's a laptop. How much can they possibly be fitting in there? I don't know.
Yeah, I doubt it's a dual.
Oh no,
core,
it's a
dual
Xeon
chip motherboard.
It's an Intel Xeon. Must be some experimental. It's an Intel Xeon, and it has the name V2 on the end of it. So that must be. It must be some sort of.
I wonder if that's
CPU
a dual
thing.
chipset.
You'd think so, because 12 cores, 24 threads. That's a lot. But it supports.
Do not set this on your lap.
Yeah.
You will not have kids.
Hold on, screen's freaking out. So my news screen's black right now. All right, I'll just pull the news over onto this one. That's really starting to annoy me. Crossfire might not be worth it. This supports up to 32 gigs of RAM and 6
Thanks, Dave, for making me get
terabytes
NVIDIA
of storage. With RAID 0, 1, 5, and 10 support, it has quad LAN ports. Why do you need quad LAN ports on a laptop?
It is a server. I mean, that kind of
yeah,
makes
but
sense.
if they're gigabit, what do you does it really make sense? Like, are you running into 4 different switches?
If you're running network stuff, it might.
Dude,
make
if your
sense to have
network is so
multiple
beastly
ports.
that you need 4 LAN ports,
No, it's not.
you
about
don't need to be running it on a laptop.
It's not about the bandwidth. It's about the separation for testing purposes. I would imagine.
Okay, all right, that makes sense. Well, not a ton of sense, but a little.
I mean, you're not going to need 4 gigabits of bandwidth off your laptop.
You can slap 2 GTX 780Ms in it or 2 7970s in Crossfire. And it starts around $3,000. So that might have superseded the cyber-powered PC as the most ridiculous computer I've read about lately.
That's impressive, honestly.
Yeah, that is like, yeah, I'm more impressed than anything. Like, I don't
that
even know
makes
what to
me
say
wonder
about
though.
it.
You know, for laptops, usually like the power inverter is in the cable. Like, how big of an inverter is on that cable?
I think with that laptop, you could probably just stick it in the body. I mean, is it really that much smaller than like a small form factor PC at that point? It isn't really. I saw a picture of it. It looked like it was like 3 inches thick.
That's awesome. Just because we can.
So you guys heard that Command and Conquer was canceled, right?
What?
Oh,
I
guess
I heard about that a while ago.
Here's some news. So Command and Conquer was being re-released, or they were making a new one. It was going to be free to play. I guess people were excited, and
this is not the one on Frostbite, or is it the one on Frostbite?
Yes, this is the one on Frostbite. And then a month ago, EA. Hold on, it's more news.
I'm already angry. Just keep going.
All right, fine. All right, so EA canceled the game 1 month ago. But there are rumors going around now, and they did mention something on a customer support page about that they're actually just shopping around for another studio to finish the game. And so once they find another studio, they will finish the game, hopefully release it. This means Westwood is not involved at all. Westwood is the classic developer of the series, but
Westwood has never really existed for about, like
that's true.
years
But their
now.
influence, Command and Conquer hasn't existed for a while.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay, so quick side note. I used to be a huge, ridiculous Command and Conquer fan. Like,
I know, that's why I'm telling you about it.
Yeah, you're right into my heart, Jeremiah. Like, my game development stuff started with modding for the Command and Conquer games, and my younger brother actually, like 2 hours ago, posted a link on my Facebook page to a video when Command and Conquer Renegade was about to come out, the first-person shooter, one of the last game that the actual Westwood Studios ever released. It was like a promo video for it, where like the game had been like delayed, and the main character comes into the studio and like holds them all at gunpoint to release the game. Rocket, they're coming for you next. But he posted on my Facebook wall, and I'm like, oh, this takes me back to when Westwood was still a thing, and now you're pulling the scab off again. Thanks, buddy.
Yeah, oh no, definitely. Like I'm just glad I could help, honestly. I'm just happy for you.
Now I remember why I hate EA.
No, they're trying
There it
to.
is.
No, they canceled. They're trying to shop around and finish the game. It's not
That's
gone
true.
for good.
That's true.
Yeah, don't
just
hate them unless they just definitely cancel it for no reason.
Could also
I
be
actually
because the
got
game has
Command
turned
and
out to
Conquer-
be like crap, and they want someone else to do it better.
Well, you see, the thing is, too, is I haven't actually been a fan of a Command & Conquer game since, probably Generals.
Tiberium Wars was awesome.
I got it for free. It was okay.
It was awesome.
EA sent me a copy to review, and I like played a couple hours.
EA sent you a copy to review? Say what?
Wait, no, it was Command & Conquer 3.
How'd you get a copy?
This was
free?
actually a couple of years ago. Like, when my YouTube channel was still pretty small. I'm not sure how I ended up on this list, but
Hey guys, I'm pretty cool, guys.
Actually,
I've got this YouTube channel. I'd like to review Command and Conquer.
you know what?
I've also got a helicopter.
Yeah, your mom gave it to me.
What? If you're gonna insult each other, like, try harder.
It actually wasn't from YouTube. I just remembered. It actually was based off of some of that mod stuff I had done way back in like middle and high school for Command & Conquer. I was still on some kind of mailing list, and I got a free copy that way. But
Cool.
I don't know. I haven't been impressed with the game since Generals. It just didn't feel like classic Command & Conquer.
Oh, well, I love Tiberium Wars. That's the only one I've played.
And by mailing list, is this connecting to our torrenting site?
It was a very special review copy.
With no multiplayer.
Yeah, that kind of sucked.
Okay, so Valve, they've started the beta of their in-home streaming features they're going to be rolling out along with SteamOS.
Have they rolled out the Steam boxes yet?
No.
Like, oh, okay. I was hoping we were going to hear something about that when they do. So
Yeah, they're going to mention it. Like, you'll know.
Okay.
We'll be making little squeak noises when it happens. So they've done the beta though. The beta has started. The extremely closed limited beta for in-home streaming. It's pretty cool. Any two computers in a home can be used to stream a gameplay session. Windows can stream from a Windows PC to a Steam machine, or a Steam machine can stream to Windows, or like you can really Windows to Windows, Steam to Steam. It doesn't really matter.
Awesome.
And they said you'll be able to stream from a super powerful computer to anything. If it boots up and can play video, pretty much like all other streaming services, it does not need to be a fast computer. All it's doing is is sending audio and video, or sending input and receiving audio and video signals. So it does not need to be a super powered. Yeah, it doesn't need to be a super powered computer. Now they did say you can't use the other computer while you're streaming, like the computer that the game is being played on. You know, the master computer. You can't use it while it's streaming. Like when it's in the game, it is in the game. They're just capturing. I guess they're really just doing like a live capture of the feed and beaming it across your network. I mean, that's all they're doing. I say all they're doing. They're doing a really good job of it, hopefully. But that's what it is. So you can't use the other computer, which is no different than like the PlayStation 4. You can't remote play on the Vita while someone else plays a different game on the PlayStation. I mean, that's normal. That's not a big deal.
Yeah, and it's not like, I mean, it's not even like you can play a game and do something else at the same time anyways. You know what I mean? Like, if you're playing a game, you're either playing a game or you're switching to another app.
Well, they can say, like,
that, you know what I mean?
Some people could think, like, this is good for a household with multiple people using the same master computer. Like, oh, I'll go sit out in the living room and play something while you do your taxes.
Yeah. I can imagine they'll probably do something like that soon. In the next couple of years, they'll probably figure out a way to get the streaming even better so someone else can do something else. Mm-hmm. So it's like lagging all over the place. Like, woman, I told you, make me a sandwich. Get off that computer. You're ruining up my battlefield.
Wow, that's how Joel talks when he's gaming.
Yeah, and that's all the news for tonight. Now we do have a tech question from.
Wait! I have news.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
What?
I should have asked you.
What? Dave's got news. I have breaking news.
What's a Daisy screenshot?
It's actually
One screenshot
better.
is not
That's not
news.
Daisy breaking news.
You will like accept anything. Your standards are so
true.
low.
For you guys, not for the podcast. I'll share anything with you guys. Look at this tiny Twitter screenshot. It's 640 by 380 and super compressed. Yeah. Anyway, moving on to the actual breaking news. I can say breaking news, right? That's pretty exciting, right?
We'll see. I mean, if
Here
it
we
is.
Go. There is a apparently a very official rumor that Telltale.
Dave, oh my gosh, just shut up.
Telltale is currently working on a Game of Thrones game.
Ooh,
Is it going to be better than the terrible
cool.
Game of Thrones game that was released last year?
Please, yes.
Has any of you guys actually played that game?
I think I got it in a Humble Bundle. Let me look up real quick.
Yeah, I got it for free, checked Metacritic, and said, nope.
Yep, Game of Thrones. I have never looked at it. I know there's a Game of Thrones mod for Crusader Kings 2 that's supposed to be pretty good.
How many of you guys have actually played the Walking Dead series from Telltale?
I haven't.
I have.
Done that yet. I haven't. I haven't played
It's
it.
incredible. I mean, really, really good.
Just get it on your iPhone. Get it on your iPhone. It's on there as well.
I already own it. I just.
Oh, you do?
I got it in a bundle. I just haven't.
I was just saying, if you're having a hard time playing it and you haven't got it, get on your
That's
iPhone.
a great couch game. I played it on the couch. It was very...
I'm always looking
it's like
for
a story
more couch games.
Yeah, sorry. It's a great fold-out couch game.
I was going to say that's not true, but it does. It does fold out.
So there you sit on the ground since you don't have a couch game.
It folds into a very uncomfortable bed. You know how your favorite thing about a bed is when it's split down the middle into two halves and both halves are like dimpled, like they're domed? Sleeping on top of a dome is the best. It's like a reverse hammock.
It sounds fantastic.
When are we all invited over to your house?
Anytime you want.
It's going to be like
I've seriously been
like all the dwarves coming into Bilbo's house.
I've been inviting friends for a year and a half, and one friend has come over to actually just visit us.
Oh, I'm driving there after this podcast.
Sure you are. I've stayed at your house, you jerk. Even though you sit 3 feet away from your TV and you're giving yourself blindness.
It's true.
It's rich blindness.
It's best when it's 15 pixels per inch.
Yeah.
So
you can say all that jealousy. Don't worry about it.
Is that
at least I have a couch and a TV.
Ooh. Hey, I live in a freestanding structure, okay? I don't live in an apartment complex like you. And you know what? I can take my freestanding structure anywhere I want because it has wheels.
You're gonna show up outside my house.
The American way, take your house with you.
So, we have a question sent in to casualshenanigans@gmail.com. Just like you. All right. Just like you can. Actually, before I read the question, I want to encourage everyone to follow us on Twitter. Why, might you ask, did you follow us on Twitter? Casual Shenanigan, Germ Gaming, and Evil Viking. the reason you should follow us on Twitter is that's where we tweet out updates about the podcast, things we're going to be talking about. We ask you guys to send in questions, like all those updates. That all happens on Twitter. So we're not using Google Plus to send out updates. I think you can do that, but we're not going to do that because everyone still hates Google Plus apparently. Yeah. So Twitter, follow us on Twitter. We don't spam you, I promise. We forget to tweet way more often than we actually tweet anything. So you'll definitely not be spammed, but you will get updates about everything. But Ryan sent in this. I want to begin a piecemeal upgrade of my current computer. I built this computer using employee discounts and spare parts from my time working at Lenovo at the end of last year. Very good. I love Lenovo. Here's what I have at the moment. A 1 terabyte A drive for documents, files, and games. Someone's a gangster. Someone's not planning on installing a floppy drive anytime soon.
That's poor future planning right there. You just took up your floppy drive space.
It's actually a terabyte of floppy drive space.
A 500 gig C drive for OS and program installations, and 2 500 gig externals for backups of major projects. He has 10 gigs of DDR3 RAM. He's using 5 slots. So he's running in dual channel, except for one stick is all by itself, I guess.
He does play by his own rules.
And my screen turned off. Hold on, bringing it back over to the other one. His processor is an Intel Xeon W3570 running at 3.2 gigahertz. That's a quad core. His GPU is an NVIDIA Quadro 4000 that is slightly underclocked a couple percent due to some crashes while gaming. He's using a stock 625 watt power supply. He's not sure how to check what motherboard he's using. It's the default motherboard for the Lenovo ThinkStation S20. The primary purpose of this computer, and Dave, you will probably be the best person to answer this. The primary purpose of this computer is doing work in Maya, Photoshop, Unity 3D, and After Effects. He does a lot of animation and effects work, as well as modeling, texturing, and rigging. He also plays a lot of games, often indie, but he's looking forward to moving on to BF4. He has been playing BF3 40 to 50 frames per second on medium to high settings, but he wants to go to BF4. What parts of my computer should I upgrade in order to have the best bang for my buck as I go, and which purchases would help which goals the most, i.e. where would I see the most effect of a new processor? Thanks for taking the time, and I look forward to your response. All right, I'm going to turn this over to Dave, but really quickly before I do that, it's also helpful if you send in something, let us know what your budget is. Like, because if you say, I've got $2,000 to spend, I would just tell you, build a computer just for gaming. Because this is a graphics workstation.
Yeah.
You know, your budget's important. Like, if you're saying I can put $100 a month into it, that's a lot different than, hey, I've got $2,000 because I stole a bunch of Lenovo computers off the line and sold them. And I'm looking to really
Thanks, Craigslist.
So, yeah, you know, so Dave, what would you do with this?
Yeah, so I was actually in a similar boat a few years back. I do 3D artwork. I use 3ds Max, Photoshop, After Effects, Cinema 4D, Crazy Bump, all that fun stuff. I originally had a i7-950 DDR2, 8 gigs of RAM, and an older Quadro, like one of the kind of like $400 ones, but it's more like a low-end GE Force card. If you cheap out on the Quadro cards, you get crap.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah,
I don't do a whole lot of
healthy markup there.
Yeah, it really is. I don't do a whole lot of CAD, and so I really didn't see any kind of improvement in cinema or anything else with the Quadro. Ditched that thing first chance I got for a GTX 580, and that was a massive boost for just all of the 3D stuff. And of course, now I can play Battlefield on my lunch break, which is awesome. I would say first off, the Xeons do pretty well for gaming. I mean, it's more of like brute forcing it than anything else. An i7 would probably give you a few percentage points of increase, but first priority is get rid of that Quadro card. I would say a 770 if you can afford it.
Well, a Quadro retails for $700. So
And
I don't know
that's
what
my
the
next
used market
thing.
is, but you might be able to get enough money for like a GTX 780 or something if he sells it.
That's just, yeah. If you can sell it and actually get a good price for it, because they actually do retain value pretty well, do that and get a nice GE Force card. First thing, get rid of the Quadro.
Mm-hmm. Now, so I know Photoshop and After Effects, I know they don't really need a Quadro. After Effects can make use of CUDA processing, so any NVIDIA GPU. And Photoshop doesn't really need any of that much. Like, it uses the GPU for some rendering stuff, but like a very low end GPU is fine for that.
And
so
the
what about
gaming cards
Maya?
work great.
Well, what about Maya and Unity 3D? I know Unity 3D is popular because it runs really well on low end hardware. Do you need high end hardware to code or to build in it?
The editor, I've worked with it just a bit. It enjoys higher end hardware. I mean, the more you have, the more you can play around with it, which is always a good thing. As far as Maya goes, I use 3ds Max primarily, and both. I have used Maya on that same computer too, actually. Now that I think about it, just barely, just for converting stuff, basically. But it seems to really enjoy the higher end GeForce cards, and I get better performance out of the gaming card than the low end Quadro card for sure. Mm-hmm. So no problems there, in my opinion.
Do you know about Maya? Like, I mean, do you know what type of processing it prefers? Oh, hey Joel, I didn't notice you totally left us for a minute.
Hey, buddy.
Thanks for prioritizing this.
I wrote a message just trying to be quiet. It said back in 1 second.
Oh, I didn't see it. I'm sorry.
He saw something shiny off camera.
Sorry, I'm down to one monitor now, so I'm trying to.
But I believe both Max and Maya have a choice between either DirectX or OpenGL rendering packages for the work windows, and both. Any GeForce card is going to do awesome with that as long as you get a decent one. I would say a 760 or higher.
So I would say sell the Quadro.
Yep.
And I don't know what the used prices are, but if it's new for 700, maybe you get like 400 to 500 out of it. Try to grab like a GTX 780. You'll see such a huge difference in your gaming. Because that, for Battlefield, that quad core is still fine. Battlefield's not a super CPU dependent game. So, I mean, you can run Battlefield on an old Phenom quad core pretty well.
Yeah.
So yeah, probably do that. But if you have a particular budget or something, let us know. It is like, I don't know what type of motherboard you have. Dave, could you look up what type of mother? Well, no, we're not gonna be able to tell because it's gonna be a proprietary motherboard.
Probably,
for this ThinkStation. But 10 gigs of DDR3 and 5 slots, so 2 gigs per slot. It feels like there's probably a better way to do that, but it's probably not impacting your performance that much. So if I was gonna do anything other than the graphics card, I think I might just get an SSD.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Because you've got
that's a huge difference.
Yeah, that would make a big difference. Not so much for gaming, but for overall just life stuff. Just using the computer.
Just as an example, when I put a new, I think 180 gigabyte in my home computer, I took my old 80 gig SSD into work and crammed my OS just barely onto it, just because it completely changes how you work. And spending all day, 8 hours on a computer that had a spindle hard drive was like pulling teeth. It was really just miserable. And that was one of the best things I've done. Sure, I have to watch my space carefully, but SSDs are fantastic for workflow. Mm-hmm. I can't stand a computer that lags behind me.
Yeah, that is the worst. That's why I upgraded to an SSD at work. I'd gotten one at home for a while, but at home when I'm working on stuff, it's a little bit different. But at work, I was having like 2 video renderers open at the same time, running 2 different renders. And I had like the entire Adobe suite open and my email and 3 different browsers because I have to be signed into multiple accounts. I was just like doing extreme amounts of multitasking and it would chug. I would click on a program and it would take like 5 seconds just to switch back to the program.
No,
I just can't do this. So I got an SSD and night and day difference. Now, the nice thing about an SSD is the same thing I say about memory. I want enough memory or a fast enough hard drive that I can do whatever I want and I won't feel a performance hit from it. Like, I'll feel a performance hit if I'm doing a video render and my CPU's parked at 100%. You feel a hit from that. But as far as everyday usage stuff, I don't want the computer to ever feel like it's hesitating at all. And that seems like a first world thing, but you can do it. It's very attainable and it's so awesome when you do it. It's so frustrating to go to work on like a friend's computer or something, like they're having issues or a family member. And you're going to touch it and you're like, this is why you're frustrated. It takes 5 minutes to do something that would take 30 seconds on a fast computer. So, yeah, I would say
I had someone's laptop I was working on a few weeks ago, and I had it installed OpenOffice on it for them. And opening the Word editor on OpenOffice took like 45 seconds. And you hit the icon, and I'm like, did I miss it? Is like the mouse not working? So I hit it a few more times, and then I realized if you listen really carefully, like the laptop hard drive was like thrashing. And then finally it popped up with the splash screen for OpenOffice, and I'm like, I don't think I've seen the splash screen before.
Laptop hard drives are the worst.
Painful. SSDs are awesome. Yeah.
So, all right, before we move on to the PlayStation talk, so I'm frustrated with my video cards right now. So I'm talking to you guys about
How come?
I bought Sapphire is generally.
Do you want to lay down first before you start talking about this?
No. Sapphire is generally considered to be a pretty good graphics card manufacturer. They've got a pretty good reputation. So I wanted a graphics card with 2 DVI ports because my monitors are both DVI and I didn't want to run adapters or anything. So Sapphire was the only people who made a 7950 with 2 DVI ports. So I was like, no big deal. I bought one, and I've had it every once in a while, like once a month when I had the one card, the other screen would turn off while I was gaming. And then as soon as I was done gaming, it would just pop back on. So I just assumed it was, just some weird little thing, not a big deal at all. Because I'm not like reading a second screen while I'm gaming. But when I added the second card for Crossfire, it has gotten just miserable now. Like it shuts off all the time.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering, should I try swapping the cards? Putting the newer card in the top slot and seeing it, maybe just the port, the extra DVI port just wasn't really that good when they added it in.
Have you tried swapping your cards for NVIDIA cards?
I have thought about it.
Okay, honesty moment, Jeremiah. There have been some pretty big return punches from NVIDIA over the last month. Like, which one has tempted you the most?
Well, see, here's the thing. I've been very tempted by... Actually, the single card I'd be most tempted by is the R290. Because for price to performance, that card is insane. But 95 degrees Celsius is also insane. No, see, the hard thing is like both my cards together, once overclocked, like they're still faster than a 780 Ti. Like there is no single card that has performance that can match the performance of these cards. So anything I get's a downgrade. Mm-hmm. I do like having 2 working monitors though. So I would probably go for 2 760s or 2 770s.
Ooh.
The other possibility would be 2 670s because those are hitting under $200 refurbished.
Yes, they are.
So a 670, I mean, that's probably pretty equal to one of my 7950s, I would imagine. Because one of my 7950s, when overclocked, is pretty close to a 680. So I would imagine a 670, they can overclock a little bit, right?
Yeah, I got 19% overclock out of my 680. So.
And did you get a 19% performance boost? I think I remember you got.
Yeah, very noticeable.
So I would probably do that. If I go to a single card, like the best one I could afford would probably be just a regular 780, which is a good card. I'm not like trying to first world problems over here, but it would be, what I mean? It would be a good card, but it would be a significant decrease in performance.
Right.
But then again, like I do have kind of overkill performance. The reason I got the second card was like, all right, I'm set for like the next 4 years now.
Something to think about.
Did he disappear?
I think his video card has just committed suicide after all that talk. It went out with a bang. Do we still have Joel? Is Joel still with me?
Yeah, I'm still here. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. How's it going, Joel? How are you feeling today? Yeah, I can hear you.
Hey, man. Across the pond.
I think we have a slight delay here, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, without Skinner, I guess we could start continuing talking about PS4. Or let's talk about that Daisy screenshot, because I know he would stomp it right now, so let's talk about that. That was amazing.
Phone call.
Hey, I'm back. What happened?
Nothing. We're continuing with Daisy, so just hold on for a second.
Wait, no, what's happening with Daisy?
I have to talk about the screenshot. This
is Joel, actually. This is all Joel.
Screenshot of Daisy I've seen so far. It looked... Oh, yeah, it is. It's definitely the best screenshot I've seen of the whole game.
It is. It's a good screenshot.
It looks... I know it doesn't look like next gen, but honestly, it gave me a little bit of chills, like The Division gave me chills.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah, like it had to feel more like, I don't know, because The Division kind of reminded me of like you're playing as the Half-Life 2 people, like the force that's like attacking. I forget what they're called.
The Combine.
Yeah, but whatever the
What kind of Half-Life fan on you? Get out, yo.
not the Combine, but the people that are like fighting beside you, whatever they call it.
The Resistance.
The Resistance. There we go.
Of course, they're called the Resistance.
Yeah. The Resistance. What
are we going to call the people who are resisting the government? I have an idea.
Terrorists. They're obviously. We're going to call them domestic terrorists, obviously.
Can we be the Bandana Boys? No, that's a dumb name. I know. The Resistance.
How
just might work.
That?
I'm sorry, I'm being bitter.
No.
So anyway, back to the screenshot.
Yeah, the screenshot. Did you look at it?
Yeah, I saw it.
I don't know why. It just looks very apocalyptic.
It looks good.
Yes.
And like Daisy never really ever looks apocalyptic. So I'm just like more trash. I think it was that broken car. I was like,
That's because Daisy is Arma 2 with zombies.
I know. And so it's going to blow my mind just seeing trash in the game. I don't know why, but I just want to see trash.
Well, I mean, you do have that family reunion coming up. Would you like me to text you a picture of your mother? She's right here.
Thanks, Jeremiah. There it is. That's all I ever wanted.
Anyways, that's all about that. I think if they desaturate the game just a tiny bit, it would look really sweet. I think it'd feel like The Road. I think that'd be awesome. A little bit of color correction.
If it was like CryEngine, what's really cool about CryEngine's time of day system is you can essentially set a gosh, what's the word, Joel, for a frame, a key. Yeah, you can set actually a key for every minute of the 24-hour day and completely change the lighting settings as the day goes on. So like midday can be like bright, saturated, happy.
Yeah, for like an hour, and then it slowly gets different.
It gets darker. It gets desaturated. Like it starts having like a bit of noise and like vignette going on. You could do all kinds of stuff, at least in other engines. So that would be cool to see, like where there are times where it's super happy and bright, and you're like, hey, this apocalypse is kind of survivable and kind of not so bad. And then maybe a storm comes in and it's like, oh crap, I'm in Stalker all of a sudden.
I think it'd be very cool if like you could play one day and it's completely just regular, and then the next day you play, it's like all rainy, like the whole time you're playing. Like it's just,
yeah.
That'd be really cool.
I think we should rename the Daisy section of the podcast to "That Would Be Cool to See."
Okay. I'm done.
Also known as r/Daisy. Hey guys, wouldn't it be cool if?
So back to my problem.
Are you going to disconnect again on us, Jeremiah?
No, the GPUs could hear me.
That's what I said. Is that they heard you and committed suicide?
So I don't know. What do you guys think? Honestly, like I switched from AMD to Intel earlier this year. I'm not opposed to switching systems. I've been very happy with AMD because for the money, the performance is insane. I don't think this is an AMD-wide problem because I don't hear a lot of other people having this problem. Right. I think it's a peculiar little quirk of me trying to buy something outside the normal reference cards and having problems.
I mean, you're gonna probably have a little bit of a slight less graphics boost. I don't think by much that you're gonna really notice. But
what card should I get?
I mean, if you were saying the 670, I mean, like if price doesn't matter, I mean, you said the 670 was doing really good. I think Dave, you have a 680, right?
How much power do you need to run two of those?
They're surprisingly power efficient. I think you could easily do it.
On 650 watts?
I think so. Yeah, I think.
Okay, I mean 27950s I can run. I could not do 27970 gigahertz editions. That's what they say at least.
Okay, you might be running the edge, but
I could look it up, but
yeah.
Yeah, I could think about that.
Okay, so time for Dave to have a PC question.
All right.
So I've been budgeting and planning out for my next rebuild, which is going to be a partial rebuild. My initial plan was keep all my hard drives because I have some nice SSDs and hard drives and all, and I just don't feel like redoing all my storage. I have tons of storage, but my case is very old. I need a new modern case with all the nice back cutouts and all. My Cosmos 1000 is great, but it's missing a whole bunch of modern features.
Yeah.
My motherboard, it's what's the platform? LGA, I think 1155.
It's not. I don't think it's 1155, is it? Maybe first generation 1155. Because if it's 1366.
1366. Thank you.
Yeah, that socket's dead. Thank you, Intel. That's one thing AMD does right. Okay.
Yes.
AMD's like, hey, Every processor we release for the next 6 years, same socket. You're good. Keep what you want. We love you. Please.
This is where
back.
I kind of screwed myself. Is I built this system on the dead end of 1366. I mean, this platform was retired 3 months after I built this brand new computer. It served me well for the last almost 3.5 years now. But the problem is I don't have USB 3. I don't have the new SATA ports. I have the limitation with the triple channel RAM and the certain things you have to do to get your CPU to line up correctly, and just a lot of really 1366 platform weird issues. So my initial plan was new motherboard, new RAM, and new CPU. And that would get me USB 3, a nice modern case, all that nice stuff. I'd finally be current, and I think it would also last longer, like it wouldn't age as fast as this one did. The problem is that I wouldn't really be getting a huge increase in performance for what I'd be paying. It would cost about $825 or so to do a rebuild, keeping my graphics card and my hard drives.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really hard to pay $800 for what would probably amount to like a 20% boost in performance, and then just having all those nice new features. Like that's a pretty expensive upgrade.
Yeah.
So here's what has been tempting me recently.
Oh boy.
So when I dropped my 480s back in August...
I'm just going to get a PlayStation 4. And we're going to link two of them together. And that power of double next generation.
Double next gen. Joel has convinced me.
SLI'd PlayStation 4s. Sorry.
1440p glory.
No, it'll just be 1080p smooth.
With lots of aliasing. But, so yeah, and also that would take me budgeting for it probably until February or March to actually build that.
All right. So what's the plan?
What's also been tempting me, and what I was saying was when I dropped my 480 SLI back in August and bought my single 680, I also got a PCI Express USB 3 card, which is amazing. I have a whole bunch of USB 3 drives I use for recording and stuff. I can finally use them at USB 3 speeds.
Mm-hmm.
However, they cover up my second SLI slot. But 680s have been dropping on eBay.
What are they down to now?
You can, if you're careful, find one for like $230 already.
Oh, that's what I'm doing. I'm going to get two 680s.
Because I paid $285 for this refurbished one. So I'm like, oh man, I could get a second 680 for like $240-ish. Have SLI again, and with this CPU overclocked to 4 gigahertz, I have an i7 930 at 4.0 gigahertz. That's a pretty screaming CPU still. But I would lose my USB 3, and I'd be once again adding cards onto this very dated system. That is my dilemma.
Can I pipe in?
Please, Joel, save me from myself.
No. I think in all seriousness, I mean, the graphics you're going to get, I think are going to matter so little. I mean, here's the thing. I know you do your recording and stuff, but now that Shadow Play is coming into being, you don't need to have as good as graphics as you need, to try to keep it at 60 FPS, which I know you always try to keep on recording at ultra or beyond ultra.
Beyond ultra.
Yeah, you don't need that in as much anymore now with the Shadow Play. And so
Except,
basically, right,
I am getting frame drops below 60 at times.
Yeah, but I'm saying, is that really worth getting rid of all the USB 3? Like, I honestly think eventually, like, to get your new system, I think you should just wait for a little bit longer, let this system run into the ground, and then just go, then go fresh.
Yeah.
Here's my thoughts. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Joel. I thought you were done talking.
I'm done.
If it felt like you were about to keep talking, though.
No, but I'm done now.
Don't do it, Dave. Don't do it.
So, what I would suggest, I have a 3570K overclocked. Joel has a 3770K, and he's a little prissed and hasn't overclocked it.
Because he needs my help.
I'm a little pressed for not overclocking. Do I give a crap? I mean, I have a PS4. It's free. I have an Xbox
You're leaving
360.
performance on the table.
PS3.
You're leaving performance on the table. You got.
I'm just saving a little room for later.
So, Dave, look up all of the CPU heavy benchmarks you can find. Let's run them on both our computers. I'm betting mine will probably be a little bit faster.
Yeah.
But you do have 8 threads. So I'm betting it's not going to be a big difference.
I was going to get a 4770K.
Oh, no, that's what you're going to get. I'm saying but for gaming and everything but heavy video rendering, my CPU is still awesome. Like, it's
that's actually one last point I was going to make too, is that I do a lot of 3D. I actually, while this podcast was going here at the beginning, I was rendering an intro out of Cinema 4D in the background, and it was cranking it out. But I mean, I do really work the CPU as far as rendering and 3D stuff goes.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe I would see more than a 20% increase with a more modern platform. And 16 gigs of RAM versus 6.
16 gigs of RAM would be awesome.
I'm limited to 6 gigs of triple channel right now.
I'm betting if you come up with as many CPU benchmarks as you can, I will happily run them on my computer. You can run them on yours, and we can compare them. Because say max, you're going to gain like 20% over my processor if you go to a 4770.
Okay.
Probably. So if you're within spitting distance of my processor, that's not worth $800. It's just not. Now, the issues I do see with your build are it's super loud, which is dumb. I don't know why your case is so loud. It doesn't make any sense. I have 2 graphics cards in my case. My case is much smaller, and it's quiet.
It's because to make room for my water cooler and my bajillion add-on cards, I had to open up the front of my case. My case is meant to have a door that clasps over the front. Oh,
that's right. Yeah, the door's gone.
I opened the entire front up, and I have multiple fans in the front, adding front air intake now. That was not designed to be used like that for this Cosmos case.
I think your big weaknesses are memory and USB 3, most likely. I'm betting your processor is still current enough that you would get a little bit of performance, but not anywhere close to what you're spending. Unfortunately, since it is Intel and the socket's dead, there's no way to upgrade. There's no affordable way to upgrade your, to USB 3. Well, you've got USB 3. There's no way to upgrade your RAM.
Yeah.
Really on this platform. Is it triple channel?
I'd have to get 4 gig sticks, which are expensive, even used, very expensive.
4 gig sticks of triple channel? Is that what it is? Yeah, those never really caught on. They were around for kind of the one chipset, and then just dual channel was really just the way to go. People went back to that. Yeah, this is like,
I really can't figure out what's the best option. I mean, I really can't afford it right now either way.
Riding it into the ground is probably the best thing to do.
Yeah.
I mean, because you're getting good performance.
Just with drops. Like, I do get random drops. Like, Battlefield will drop to the 30s like for a second, and then back up to
mine does that, dude. That's Battlefield.
Well, yeah.
I can run Battlefield at like 120, and then sometimes it drops to 100. Sometimes it drops to 30. That's just Battlefield. Yeah. Don't try to fix that problem. That's not going to happen.
What makes me so angry is that by jumping onto the end of this dead platform, my i7 930, which has served me well, and that I paid $300 for, is now worth about $60 used. Because no one wants it anymore.
That's true, because one of the good things about upgrading is you can sell your old gear to offset the cost, but you're not going to, I mean, triple channel 1366.
The RAM actually is still worth quite a bit. Just
how much is that worth used?
About 120 to 130.
For all of it?
For the 6 gigs, yeah.
Okay, because I'm betting your CPU and processor together are probably like $100 if you're lucky.
My CPU and processor together?
Sorry, CPU and motherboard.
Oh, the motherboard actually I've seen go for anywhere from between 80 and 120. So the motherboard is actually worth more than the CPU.
Still, you're looking at less than 200 though. It's not that.
Yeah. Well, not counting the RAM.
A second 680 would be good. You need about 850 watts to run it. I looked up, so it looks like I'm not doing that.
That's exactly what I have. And mine ran 2 480s, so yeah.
I think I'd wait it out. I would not give up USB 3 for a second graphics card, especially because the main game you play is so poorly optimized that I don't think you'd get as significant of a difference as you think you would.
Right.
I mean, I'm not blown away by my performance in Battlefield 4. I mean, I'm frustrated most of the time when I'm playing it. Like, the performance is just not that great. And it's
really variable is the problem.
It's very variable, and I have one of the most powerful GPU setups you can get. I mean, yeah, like 2 780 Ti's. I'm not talking like insane stuff, but I've got a really powerful setup. Mine is like the monitors turning themselves off and other things, but the setup is really powerful, and I'm not thrilled with it. So I don't think getting a second card is going to make you that happy. Probably,
yeah.
For Battlefield, and for probably, I'm guessing most other games, you have no problems running anything else you want with a 680.
Basically, yeah. Yeah, especially overclocked 19%. I'm very close to a 770. Yes, a 770.
I'd ride it into the ground.
All right, so that's 2 votes for riding it into the ground.
Just keep saving money. Keep saving money. Like, go until you just can't take it anymore, and then you'll have like $1,500 to go crazy with.
Yeah, because that's honestly what I did. I just kept on saving money.
Yeah. So
I could just get something really awesome. Because the last time I built a computer, it was like, I don't know, it was like 2009 or I think it was 2009. Mm-hmm. And when I bought my computer, it wasn't a 2009 computer. It was probably like a 2008 computer.
Yeah, it was.
So this time I wanted to buy, I want to buy an actual 2013 computer, you know?
Nice.
So.
And you did. Your computer is very nice.
Yeah, and I want to see you happy, Dave.
Thanks, guys, for talking me down. I was right there on the ledge about to jump off into oblivion.
See, guys, it's not just you, dear listeners. Even the Casual Shenanigans Gaming crew has those moments of weakness. I believe, what did I Skype you earlier this year? I was like, I'm going to do it when I was considering Intel. There was that one late night, I was like, it's past 12:30 a.m. This is a good time to be shopping for computer parts.
I was not helpful, though. I was just like, oh yeah, you're going to do it, huh? Do it. Do it now. Join us.
I am the worst on that. People are like, I don't know if I should do it. I'm like, you should do it. But it's so much money. I'm like, dude, money.
Money's just made up. So, we are 47 minutes into the podcast. We have not hit either of our 2 main topics. Everyone ready to buckle in and plow ahead?
Let's do this thing.
All right, let's do it. So, let us know in the comments. Let us know what you think both Dave and I should do about our respective computer situations. Any of you guys see awesome deals on GPUs? Send them my way. I'm willing to consider many options. Just a thought. If I wait till some of the non-reference coolers come out for R290s, I can get an R290, a single one, overclock it a bit, and I will be at close to the performance of both my cards. Probably like 15% less than the performance of both cards now.
Nice.
That's not bad. But 2680s would be pretty awesome. All right, so PlayStation 4, it released recently. If you have not gotten one, you'll be waiting for a while because 2.3 million people are waiting on their pre-orders to be fulfilled. The PlayStation 4 sold 1 million units, making it the biggest console launch in history, if I'm remembering correctly.
Man.
Yeah, I think with the most recent, like the last generation of launches, they were like 200,000 or 300,000 units launch week.
Man.
And the PlayStation 4 crushed it. And this is an example of marketing done well. From the very first moment they talked about the PS4 through E3 up till now, Sony has been knocking it out of the park, and that's what happens. They put the gamers first. They pulled no punches. They went real hard for Xbox, and they are doing awesome so far. There have been the complaints about the blue light of death, people are trying to call it. It's not that at all. Like a tiny, tiny percentage of consoles have been dead out of the box.
Yeah, it's way less than even last time. So,
but that always happens. Like when you order electronics, there's always like a 1% chance that it's just going to be dead just because there's so many complex parts. So that's
and they're pushing this one so hard right off the gate too. Like it's new hardware.
But Dave and I can't really talk about a PlayStation 4 because we don't have one. I'm considering getting one. But Joel, you got a PS4. Yoshi, friend of the podcast, got a PS4, and we have a listener who got a PS4 who sent in some thoughts about it. So Joel, why don't you take us through, like, how's it been so far?
Dude, it's been amazing. Like, it seriously is incredible. Like, way better than I thought it was gonna be. Like, if it was a scale from 1 to 10 for my like expectations, I had it about like a 9. Pretty much. I had huge expectations. Low, huh? No, it's not low.
My expectations were like I'm just 9.
I'm saying it was high expectations, and then when I got it, it was full 10. Like I was like, wow, the features actually work the way they say they work. Because I've seen a lot of E3s. Trust me, this is not my first one and getting my first console and stuff. So I was like, I know when they say, oh, it's supposed to do this, it's probably not going to do it.
Oh yeah,
but yeah. Everything, I mean, when I got it, I didn't have any problems updating it to the first software thing to be able to connect on PSN. It worked extremely smooth right from the box. The system itself it's really cool. It's extremely small. It's really, really small. Just super thin. The LED strip on the top is really nice because the colors do change and they let you know whether you have updates, there's new programs installed. It's just, the whole system is just sleek. It boots up within like 12 to 14 seconds. Like, it is really snappy.
Nice.
And then you leave it on. And it's funny, I keep actually turning it all the way off, and I keep forgetting, oh yeah, I can just put it into standby mode, kind of like an iPhone or a phone. I was like, oh yeah, I should do that. So I'm starting to get into that because I turned it on the other day. I was like, hey, there's updates. It said it was going to install it for me. Oh wait, I turned it completely off. So yeah, it's really cool. I'm a huge Xbox 360 fan for the controller. Absolutely one of my favorite ones. And the PS3, I was never a huge fan of it. I just thought the controller was just kind of, I don't know, it felt cheap. I don't know, I didn't like the feeling of it. But the new controller is really, it's definitely is the next level of controllers. Like
the touchpad is pretty amazing. Like I haven't actually gotten to use it, but the texture is really hard to describe. It's like this anti-friction touch surface. It feels like really good. I was impressed with just the feel of the touchpad.
Yeah, it feels like actually like the back of the Vita. If anyone has a Vita, the back it's kind of like a matte kind of finish, but all the buttons, the clickiness, I guess, and just the locations of the buttons are really extremely well done. Like it's just very natural. Like I found myself like you kind of go to search for a start button and you click the big pad and it goes to the map. So in Assassin's Creed 4, you're scrolling around using the map. You can either use the touchpad or the joystick, and it's awesome. And it's really fast. Being able to go from a program, so I was playing Assassin's Creed, and I was like, I kind of want to install Netflix because I forgot to install it. You press the PlayStation button, it goes back to the menu like that. And then I installed Netflix. I didn't have to exit my game, like the game is still in the background. I could install Netflix.
What does that
I could
sound
finish. Like? What?
Nothing. Go ahead.
So I started watching something on Netflix, which was the show Hoarders. Oh my gosh, those people are crazy. And then I was like, okay, I'm done with this. Press the button, and you double tap, and it switches back to the last opposite app you've been using. I'm back in the game, and it was just cool because it worked just like they said it was. So, yeah, dude, you should get it. So, and then I just got a Vita, and I've been trying out the streaming.
Does it already work?
Holy crap! It works really well. I was not surprised.
What games have you been playing it? Like, what have you...
Well, I mean, the games I have on my PS4 are Lego Marvel, which is awesome. I got that for Joy. I have Call of Duty Ghosts, and I have Assassin's Creed 4. And then I have the game Flower, which came free on the PlayStation Network thing. So the PlayStation Plus is actually a freaking good deal because you literally get 4 to 5 games a month. Like, it's ridiculous. So it's cool. But check this out, right? So I have it on here if you can see it. But I'm holding up the Vita right now.
I see a clock.
Yeah, so it says please wait. Oh yeah, it's reconnecting back to my PS4. But yeah, so you just click remote play, and it just does a quick little sync. And obviously I wasn't expecting this to even work day one. I thought this was going to be like following year it was going to work. So, it's to do the little connect sync thing. It's a little bit slow, but I can imagine in the next like couple months as they're working on this, it's going to be pretty awesome. But like seriously, like I don't know if I can like move around. But I'm like, it's like 1-to-1 downstairs.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It's pretty slick.
So I'm actually controlling it. And amazing, it actually uses the mic on this PS Vita as like it's using the camera mic to control PlayStation. I'm like,
that's
holy
cool.
crap. And so I have up here...
Joel's PlayStation, explode. Explode.
Xbox. Look up porn. Wait, how it works?
Wow. I don't know if this will work, but like here's Lego Marvel like loading up, and I can tell because I'm a hardcore gamer in the sense of I played a lot of games. Like I could tell there's a tiny bit of lag. There's a little bit. Like I think playing something like Call of Duty or Battlefield on there, like multiplayer, yeah, you're definitely not going to play as well as on your computer. But I'd say the lag is so close that I think in the next probably probably half a year or a year, they're going to update this thing like crazy, and it's going to be a lot better. But games like Assassin's Creed and this, I was playing, I feel retarded, but I'm sitting on my couch playing Lego Assassin's Creed on my Vita while the screen's like my 50 inches right in front of me. And I'm like, yay, wait, I've been playing for 40 minutes. I'm like,
you're such a hardcore gamer.
I know, I'm like, maybe I should actually play on the big screen. But it's just cool. I'm trying to see if I can load it up, but like, it's so neat. Yeah, I'm pretty impressed, but I mostly got this for Joy. So this is not for me. I got it for Joy.
Sure, Joy. Sure.
My wife loves
all
playing
your gadgets just for everybody else.
Yeah, I know. See, my wife, she always likes to accompany in the office when I'm working on wedding videos or such and stuff.
Oh yeah, definitely.
No, so she always is on her phone or like
she's just
doing
there,
something,
just bored, you know.
But now, she, instead of being downstairs by herself playing games, she could be sitting up here on the Vita playing Lego.
Problem than a.
Oh,
rather my wife just being bored, sitting downstairs by herself like a loser.
No,
I'm up here hanging out with the guys, having a good time.
I'm saying if I'm using my computer to edit, she can't really.
No, I understand, Joel. I'm just making fun.
No,
of you.
I'm re-explaining it.
I got that. Go ahead.
No, that's about it. Now there's a clone of you on this. Dang it.
Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. I don't know what's going on.
You should get yourself Matt.
No.
All right, guys, scrap all of that advice from the entire podcast. Forget all of it. Just buy Max.
Look at that.
I'm not gonna do that. So
that is Captain America and Mr. Fantastic, or stretchy arm dude. But okay, the coolest thing about this is you're looking at it and going,
nice.
"Holy crap! Like these are really high end graphics on a portable." So it like tricks you into thinking like, "How is this even working?" So I'm excited for Steambox now too.
So Joel, now obviously your PS4 is broadcasting the video and audio feeds from the main console, right?
No, it's going up through my network. It's going
through your network.
Connected Wi-Fi downstairs, upstairs to the Vita.
So it uses your local wireless network.
Yeah.
What kind of compression are we talking about? Is it like H.264 on the fly, or
he doesn't?
Honestly, I don't know what compression is. It is on the fly though.
Yeah.
I will find your small little house and I will burn it.
It'll move. You'll never find it.
It won't take very long.
When you think you found me, you found where I was.
Now, the crazy thing is I am streaming this. I am streaming this right now while I'm still streaming with you guys. So it's pretty incredible. Like there's no like every once in a while you see a little tiny digital artifact, but that's it. Like it looks straight like 1080p or something. It looks really good.
Well, your local network really would not affect your internet streaming abilities. Your local bandwidth is so much higher. Yeah, you got plenty to spare.
Okay. Awesome.
But that's still pretty awesome that it works so well.
And now I'm hang gliding down from the Avengers base, the floating air base. Yeah.
Tell us what else you're doing.
I'm excited, Dave.
Joel's really dedicated to this podcast.
I'm excited. I'm excited for the Steambox too, because that's going to make it so much easier to use my computer up here, down on my TV downstairs. That's actually honestly, made to function on a big screen where PCs are generally not.
I'm going to try it because I'm actually having some bandwidth problems with my in-home network setup. Full HD at 60 hertz is actually causing occasionally some flickering on my TV just because that's so much signal to pump. It's HDMI being converted to 2 lines of Cat6 and then back to HDMI. And Full HD occasionally just has some choking issues with how long my run of Cat6 is.
What do you mean you're going to try it? I'm like, what do you mean?
Well, I mean, I have in-wall HDMI that runs to Cat6, so it's hardwired, and up until recently it was working really, really well, but I am having some bandwidth problems, so I'd like to see, like, the Steambox version of that. Like, how bad is the compression? How responsive is it? Because one nice thing, even if I have to knock the games down to 720 to play them on the TV, I have got that USB hub behind my TV, and I just plug it in my wireless mouse and keyboard, and the responsiveness is like I'm sitting here at my desk. It's incredibly responsive, and if Steambox can come close to that at Full HD, I'll definitely use that. Well, if this is any indication, I absolutely will. There's no doubt in my mind. Yeah, seriously, like, there's no way. Like, I think, obviously there's going to be hiccups for the first year. Yeah. They're going to get it down pretty fast. And, oh man, dude, that's going to be really exciting. Man, this is so cool. I think Jeremiah's back with us, possibly.
I am back. Yeah, I've been back for a minute. I've just been chilling. I'm going to read the thoughts of Trinidad Winston. That's his gamer tag. He has another name.
Trinidad Winston. That's awesome.
So, his frustrations. Anyone who's ever had a PlayStation 3, they'll know that it's update galore. Yep, that is definitely the case. Whether or not because it's... And I lost the feed, so I'll wait.
And he died again.
I'm going to guess that the question was, I'm just going to guess, is if the PS4 has like crazy amount of updates like the PS3 maybe.
Yeah, I think that's probably it.
And since I've had both, the PS3, yeah, it took forever to update anything because it has to download it, then install it, and it just took forever to do it because the network on PlayStation Network for PS3 was really bad. And for some reason, whatever the Wi-Fi connection is in the PS3, it was always a lot slower than the Xbox for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
But for this one, once you set it up, it's in idle mode at all times. So it will download all the updates for you, all the game updates, everything for you, and install them once you leave it on. And it's much quicker because there's a dedicated CPU in there that's dedicated specifically for online download and background stuff. Because one thing I was very curious about is I uploaded some Assassin's Creed footage, and it does it so quickly behind the screens. I thought it was going to do it after I exited the game, but no, it's doing it in the background. And it uploads really quick. Yeah. So I was just impressed at how fast it actually did that. So, oh man, this is really cool. I'm trying to figure out how to log out of my profile so that Joy can log in and play on her mode of Lego on here. I haven't figured out how to do that yet. But okay, you can actually start up the PS4 from idle by using the Vita. So if you're in bed and you wake up and you're like, I want bacon in bed and don't want to move, you can literally power the PS4 on your Vita and start a game.
That's awesome.
That is cool. I'm never gonna leave.
I'm back.
So,
what have you guys been talking about in my absence?
You mainly, actually.
Should I finish reading these thoughts, or have you guys moved on?
We actually.
I want to see if my guess was. I was guessing. Was the question? Does the PS4 still have insane updates?
Yes.
I answered it.
Yeah. What?
Oh yeah.
Joel's got this. New host right here.
Guys, first my graphics cards, and then you kick me out. What am I supposed to do?
Look, Jeremiah, I know that you founded this
next
podcast.
You
it was all your idea, and you made all the artwork for it, and you do all the editing for it, but you're gone.
I'm so sad. The sadness is overwhelming. So he says, another thing irks him, installing games being mandatory. He's all for installing a game to cut down on loading times, but the PS4 is 500 gigs, and then you have the operating system, and the first 3 games he got were 35, 39, and 46 gigs to install. That kind of puts a significant dent in his storage space. He's obviously going to get more games. He doesn't want to be crunched for memory. Those are his only frustrations so far. So the first week overall has been good. He always had Xbox 360.
Did he die again?
He probably did.
Joel, can you hear me? Joel! Are you out there, Joel?
We might as well just take this whole podcast over and just...
Yeah.
We could call it the Dave and Joel Show.
Today on the Dave and Joel Show, we're going to be talking about Daisy for an hour.
All right.
Wow, I just did a creepy laugh. It was like...
That was a pretty sadistic laugh, yeah.
Guys, I think can we just switch to a Skype audio call? This is dumb.
Honestly, we're at an hour. Should we just put off our topic again? I mean,
no. We said we were going to talk about it. Let's talk about it.
We're kind of close to the end, anyways. I think we can barrel through it. Just start the question before you log out, and we'll continue.
No, can we resume this on Skype?
What about our live listeners out there? Those poor
I'm sorry, live listeners, but it's dropping me like every 2 minutes. This is dumb.
Thanks, Google.
Okay, so just keep recording and just switch over to Skype.
Yeah, I'll switch over to Skype. All right.
So basically, guys, for the exciting conclusion to this long rambling podcast, be sure to tune in.
Yeah.
Sorry for the
Don't forget to buy your NVIDIA cards. Don't you dare try Crossfire because it sucks.
All right, so I've just made notes so we can cut all that junk out.
Torrenting's bad, kids. End of podcast.
No. All right, so the last thoughts that Trinidad Winston had on the PS3 or PS4 are: first impressions are great, the gameplay is great. He's playing NBA 2K14. You can see the sweat on the guys as the game progresses. In the Battlefield campaign, he actually caught himself reaching out to save a guy who was falling. That sounds like you have maybe some attachment issues. I don't know if that's the graphics, but
that's why I buy next gen consoles, is for more sweaty guys.
No.
So real.
Obviously, with such a new platform, there isn't going to be a myriad of games available right off the bat, but the ones he has, he'll definitely keep him occupied for a while. And he says thanks and bye. So yeah, I mean, is that enough talk about the PS4 for now?
Yes.
Have I convinced you enough to buy one?
I want one. It's just a question of, I'm probably going to wait till there's a good Vita bundle, probably like in a year or so.
Oh, a PS4 Vita bundle? You think they'll do that?
I would assume so.
So like $600 one or $500 bundle maybe?
600 I think would be too much. I mean I think 500 or 550 maybe.
Yeah.
All right.
It's true.
So, let's move on to our topic of the evening. The topic of the evening is torrenting. And this is an interesting topic and can be a little bit divisive, especially for PC gamers. Now, right off the bat, torrenting itself is not illegal. Torrenting is just peer-to-peer file transferring. It's just a way of sending files back and forth. So it's very important that everyone understands that before we start, so there are no misconceptions.
Yeah, the concept of torrenting is used for legitimate things as well. Like, there are some games that release their patches over torrents.
Right.
For example.
So,
does anyone do that anymore?
Yeah, it's actually very popular. I think PlanetSide releases their patches on torrents.
They're also available in the in-game client, though, right?
Yeah. It's just...
Oh, okay. I thought it was solely...
No. For some people, though, torrenting can be incredibly fast. It'll saturate your connection and get you the files much faster than the game company's servers.
Don't I know? So yeah, but we had someone ask us, what is our opinion on torrenting? They say they haven't paid for a game in 5 years. Isn't torrenting awesome? You can get everything for free. So there can be a lot of differing opinions on this, but does one of you guys want to go first with your thoughts on torrenting?
Mind if I go first?
Yeah, go for it.
Go for it, Dave.
I'm reading graphics card reviews, so you just go right ahead.
Yeah, I see how it is. I'm not important.
I'm just kind of kidding.
So back in the day, when I was a poor high schooler and bought 2 games a year, I torrented a lot. Mainly just because, like I said, I had no entertainment budget, but still felt like I deserved, I guess, for some reason, to play all the latest games. So just about anything single player, I would torrent. I mean, I would torrent everything, and occasionally it would be just to say hey, will this game actually run on my system? Because I also didn't have the greatest computer in the world. But a lot of the times that would lead to, oh well, it does work on my system. Might as well go ahead and finish it. But moving into college was basically right around the time that a lot of games were going into an online login system, and that was right about the same time, 2006, 2007, that Steam was really taking off. And if I could name 2 things that absolutely stopped my torrenting years and years and years ago, it would be, number 1, I became an adult with a job and actually was able to budget and plan to actually pay for my entertainment, and got some self-control where I didn't try to play everything that was new, and I picked my favorites to play. And then Steam led the charge of digital sales, and now you have Humble Bundles, you have Steam, you have Origin sales, you have Green Man Gaming, and just a bajillion other options. So I have my entertainment budget now. I can pick, alright, I want BioShock Infinite when it comes out, I want Battlefield 4 when it comes out, but I can't afford Assassin's Creed 4. I can't budget for that this month too, because I already got Battlefield 4. Well, that's okay. I'll toss it onto my Steam wishlist, and next year, when it's $12.49 on Steam on the summer sale, I can grab it then, and it'll be within my budget. And in addition, in the last 5 years or so, I've really been working my 3D artwork towards joining the games industry, and kind of had to step back there and think too, why would I keep torrenting games? This is going to be my livelihood, hopefully, one day, and these artists and programmers and developers are pouring insane amounts of hours and effort into these games, and just because you have the ability to acquire them for free does not give you the right to do so. And I think those 3 things, my adult job, more or less, modern PC game sales, and then trying to get into the industry, I really cannot remember the last game that I torrented. It might have been 3 or 4 years ago, and it actually was a legitimate, I'm going to see if this actually works on my system. And, it was Skyrim, actually. I downloaded Skyrim first, played it for a couple of days, because there was some serious performance issues. It actually worked well for me, and so I went out and bought it from Best Buy, of all places. That was like the last box game I bought. But yeah, that's my torrenting story.
Joel?
No. What was your... I don't think you ever said your specific opinion, though, on it, Dave. You kind of told your backstory, but...
Right.
What is your final... Like, is torrenting a game... Is that something good to do, or is that illegal? Is it stealing?
Well, torrenting a game specifically, yes, that is a violation of copyright, which is a violation of the law technically. But I think morally, it's also a pretty bad thing to do. I mean, like I said, I kind of felt like when I was younger, like, well, everyone else is playing these new games, like, why shouldn't I? Well, if you can't afford them, like, you don't need a game. It's not food. You know, you're not going to die if you don't have it. Save up your money, wait for a sale, and do the responsible thing. Especially with, like I said, modern sales, there really are no excuses left for nonstop torrenting. I would make an exception, though, for, like I said, the last game that I torrented was Skyrim to try it out. Like, if you are legitimately just going to try it out... If that's really the reason. And you have to have some self-control, because it was tempting, once I got Skyrim working, like, hey, this works pretty great. I could have just said, might as well keep playing, but I actually went out and bought the game. And of course, later on with the Steamworks support and all the mods and all, I was very glad that I did that, besides moral reasons, just for technical reasons, for all the patches and the development kit and all were really cool to have with the retail version. But yeah, I think the only excuse you can make is if you want to test a new game to see if it works on your system, and you need to have self-control, and it needs to be an actual test, and that's it. Like, make sure it works, and then move on to the actual copy. And even then, don't make like you're doing this totally normal thing. Like, you're still stealing a copy of the game, even if you're just kind of borrowing it. You know, don't act like you're doing this totally normal thing.
Okay.
That's
Joel?
me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. So I same with Dave. I used to do it a long time ago, because I honestly had no idea it was something bad to do eventually. I thought it was literally like people actually putting their games up there, because we got internet up late in the game, right? And then as I started realizing this is actually wrong, I was like, this is not good. But my idea on it was, it kind of reminds me of like when you go into one of those stores that have those big buckets that have like peanuts or like bulk candy. The people at the store are probably not going to freak out and like call the cops on you for stealing like an M&M from there, or like tasting a little one. But it is still wrong. Like, I'm saying downloading games that come out or anything like that. It is completely wrong, because it's not yours. Like, even for trying it out, unless they put a demo out, it's still not allowed. I think the only time it ever should be actually permitted is if the game companies actually put a copy, and there's a bunch of game companies still that actually put a copy on there that's a demo that allow you to download it via that. So I think if there's a demo and you're downloading the demo, torrenting of it. But I'd say still downloading the game, I think that's still wrong, because you can go to the store. If you can torrent it, why don't you just go to the store, get it? Because some games you can still take back. You still actually can take back. I know from GameStop, they give you a week to take the game back. You're obviously
PC games anymore, though, do they?
Some do. I mean, really? Walmart does. Target does.
I meant GameStop, because they've got the return policy.
I honestly don't know about that. I haven't bought a PC game from there for a long time. But I mean, you can still torrent Xbox games and PS3 games. So, you know, I mean, like, you can go to an outlet, you can buy the game, and it's also your problem in a way. If you buy this thing, you kind of accept the risks of it going to be either a bad game that you just straight don't like, that it maybe doesn't work. Like, okay, so it is. I mean, it's going to be their fault, but it doesn't give you the right to be able to like, oh, I'm going to try this out, because obviously you're just putting in temptation. I guess just putting temptation in front of yourself to say, oh, maybe I'll keep it a little bit longer. Maybe I'll keep it a little longer. I think it's a very extremely bad habit, because honestly, I'd say 99.9% of people who do it are probably never, ever going to get caught. But there's been several cases that I've heard of, and I've actually known a few people personally that they've actually gotten caught and they've gone to jail. And it's
really
bad.
You know, people have gone to jail?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd say more like acquaintances. There's some people from actually homeschool that I did.
Well, sure, they
years
are
ago.
Now. Wait,
what?
So your brothers and sisters?
No.
Well, you knew them from homeschool.
Sorry, right, yeah. Homeschool groups, like people, anyways, yeah.
Okay, I was going to say that's a little interesting.
He's like, yeah, my brother. He's serving time. No,
never saw him again.
No, I've known some people, and yeah, it's really bad. It's literally, it's like one of those things where, yeah, it probably will never ever happen because it takes more time on their part to try to do anything than it is for them to say, please don't do this, because there'd be a zillion cases every day. I mean, they'd be going everywhere. Right. I mean, the NSA is already doing that for us right now, but which I'm sure it'll ramp up to being just a morning activity of like, oh, here comes the NSA, honey. You guys eating breakfast? Yes, we are. Are you sure you're not torrenting?
What on earth is going on? I feel like we took a left turn somewhere.
A left turn at Joel, as usual.
I would just basically say, like, just because it's something.
Basically, what I'm trying to say with the NSA checking on your breakfast is. All right, I set the stage. Go ahead.
I'm basically saying that just because it's something that pretty much you'll never pretty much ever get caught.
Just because you can.
Yeah, just because you done it doesn't right. It's not all right. Because, I mean, put yourself in the shoes of somebody making a game. Read some of the articles of people going, oh, crap. Like, I spent years of my life building something, and then it just gets torrented. And they're like, wow, let's say it's not a great game. It's like it reviews at like a 70, where you're like, I kind of want to try this game, but it's not good enough to buy. Well, now, I mean, that person has spent years of their life trying to catch someone to say, hey, buy my game. It's $10 or whatever it is. If you paid $10 for it, you probably would give it a little bit longer chance than if you torrented and be like, I don't want to play, toss in the trash. So that's such a quick way of diluting someone's, years of work. Whether it's an EA that sometimes can be kind of douchebaggy about it, or it's a person who lives in a basement or wherever working with 3 of his buddies working on a game for years. So I would just try to remember that because it doesn't seem very big now, but
remember that there are real people behind these games. Even if you don't always agree with their decisions, they're still real people with like real bills and real needs and a lot of hard work and effort that goes into these things.
Yeah, and I think the only thing I was going to say is I know there's a lot of other articles and there's different people that say, oh, well, torrenting's also really good for certain games and stuff, and I don't mind people torrenting my music because eventually they buy it and stuff. And I think that's cool because it works, but it does not work for most people. That's right. A very, very small percentage.
If an artist is the sole owner of their work and they say they don't mind you torrenting it, then fine, go ahead. But most of the time, like an artist could even say they're fine with people torrenting their stuff. Well, they don't own all of their music. Like they're not the only person who has skin in the game.
Yeah.
So that's something else to keep in mind.
I wouldn't use that as an excuse to be like, well, some people, I think even Notch said from Minecraft, who was like, he was almost defending torrenting in the way that's like, people can try it out. It's like demoing. It's like, yeah, it might work for you because you already have millions of dollars and it did work. Like some people really love it that eventually they want to buy it. And it's the same thing that actually Gabe Newell says at Valve, that to fight piracy, you can't put just more DRM. He says you have to make sure that the product you give the people feels better than if you could just steal it. Like like the people who steal programs would be like, man, I'm jealous of Dave because Dave actually bought it and he gets all these extra features because he purchased it. Whereas since I didn't, I'm losing out on some features. But still, I think it's still wrong, I think. Mm-hmm. But not to like straight up judge, because I mean, I've done it in the past now, but I haven't done it for so long now. And it really feels good. You feel good about purchasing a game because hey, the money went to those people, even if it's EA.
Well, there's still developers in studios, even behind EA. Remember that, guys.
Yeah.
Even SimCity.
And EA
is a giant
soulless.
EA logo.
EA isn't soulless. They've lasted this long because they're ruthless in business.
Yes.
They can be as ruthless as they want to. They're making Battlefront.
Well, I mean, they like. There's plenty of things I don't like that EA does, and I've been very vocal about it. But the reality is, if it wasn't for them, a lot of your favorite franchises would no longer exist because they don't play the nice guy; they play the successful guy. And the successful guy isn't everyone's favorite, but the successful guy is still making games 20 years later. So that's something important to keep in mind. All right, so my thoughts on it. I largely agree with you guys. And are you guys still there?
Yes.
All right.
No, we left. We do.
Well, you have the floor, Jeremiah. We're all ears. And stuff.
No. As poorly as the last call was going, I just figured I should check before I went.
I'm totally not browsing Reddit and rendering stuff in the background. Let me.
Yeah. All right. So, like you guys, I when I first discovered torrenting, I was like, does everyone else know about this? Like, this is the greatest thing ever. You can just get things for free. And for me, it started with LimeWire. Who remembers LimeWire?
I do.
The Windows virus installer system. Yeah.
Yes. So when I first discovered that, I was like, well,
No, that was Kaza.
No, they were both terrible.
Both of those were
anytime
awful.
I went to work on someone's computer and they're like, look, I get free music, I was like, oh no.
you get a lot more than that.
You just knew what was coming after that.
Yep.
So I did torrent a lot for a while. And then like these guys, like as you learn more and discover more, you're like, wait a second, this is not quite as easy as I thought it was. And it was like Dave around the same time that Steam started becoming more of a thing. I used to like buy and sell PC games on eBay. So once I started doing that, I pretty much stopped torrenting. Because I would buy like big packs of games, play the ones I wanted, and then sell them all. And this is before like you had to activate each game. This is when you could still put in just CD keys and play them. So my gaming was actually pretty much like I wasn't spending any money on it because I would just buy stuff cheap. I played a couple years behind the curve and it was no big deal. But so yeah, I don't really torrent anymore. And I do make a couple exceptions though. If you have already bought something and for whatever reason you can't get to that thing at the moment, I don't have a problem with torrenting it. Let me give an example. So it doesn't sound like I'm trying to justify it. I bought Mass Effect, the original one on the PC. I played it, I loved it. And then somewhere in moving home from college, I lost it. And like 2 years later, I wanted to go back and play it again, and I couldn't find it. And I could buy it online for like $20. I was like, I already paid for it. So I torrented a copy. Now, to me, there's no problem with that. What do you guys think?
Makes sense to me. I mean, you already paid for it.
Right. The thing with torrenting, you are not physically stealing something. So people who say, they're not stealing anything, it's a copy. You are technically correct. You're not stealing something. That's not what makes it wrong. What's wrong is that you're denying a sale to somebody. And you might say, well, I was never going to buy that anyway. And maybe
then you don't need to play it.
Right.
I agree
That's
with
you.
That's not entirely true though, because you are stealing something.
You're not physically stealing a thing. You're taking
stealing a digital
property.
code. Yeah.
Okay.
You're stealing a copy of it. Is the point? Is that it's not like you're taking a product off the shelf.
I'm saying, are you talking about if you already purchased it or just the first time? Because if it's the first time, you're still stealing something. It's still.
Well, it's making a copy. It's really semantics. The overall result is the same.
It's just semantics.
The overall result is exactly the same. Okay. But so I've torrented for that reason. I torrented a game once because I bought it, and then it was so broken because I had games for Windows Live. I went through like a day and a half loop of trying to get the stupid thing to work. It was Grand Theft Auto 4 when it first came out on the PC.
I knew what you were talking about right away.
I could not get the stinking thing to work. And I was
smart enough and I actually figured out how to use it.
I already had bought it on the PS3. I've bought Grand Theft Auto 4 on the PC 3 times now. I don't want to hear about it. But those sales, I bought it on a platform that ended up going dead. But like I just could not get the stupid thing to work, and it wasn't even the developer of the game's fault. It was the stupid publisher that packaged stuff in with it. So like after 2 days of that, I was like, screw this, and I went and downloaded it, and I really just for the hack. I already had all the install files. It was really just for the hack that gets rid of games for Windows Live, and I installed that, and I was very happy from then on. And to me, that's no problem at all. I've already paid the money. It's just to circumvent something dumb DRM. Like Gabe Newell said, like the solution to torrenting is not to make DRM worse. There's almost no uncrackable DRM. I remember when Assassin's Creed 2 came out, Ubisoft made this big stink about how it was going to be uncrackable DRM. And I just kept an eye on torrent sites because I was curious, and it took like 4 days. And a fully cracked copy was up. The only DRM that is uncrackable...
Those 4 days, though, man.
The only DRM that's uncrackable, unfortunately, is the worst type of DRM, and that's always online DRM. Which, that's the worst, because as you see with things like Diablo and SimCity, when those games launch, they do poorly. Like, always online is a crummy system, unless it is a online multiplayer game, and even then, you don't want it to break that often. But Like that is a crummy system. That does not make people want to pay for the product more. You know, torrenting goes down, like torrenting of movies goes down in areas that when they get Netflix, torrenting goes way down. Torrenting of music goes down when iTunes came out and when Amazon Music came out. Torrenting of games has gone down since Steam came out. Humble bundles, all like it's very in vogue now to do game bundle sales and stuff. So that's really pushed torrenting down. If you give people a good product, a lot of the time, if people can get it very conveniently and good, they don't mind paying a little money for it.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I never mind paying money for things. I don't like being jerked around by idiotic publishers that are treating me like a criminal. The only people who are not being treated like criminals are the people who download cracked versions because they get to skip all of that.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, that's kind of one of the dumb ironies. Like, it's just, you know,
sad reality there.
It's not doing the industry any favors. So if you do still torrent, and because, you know, I'm not trying to, and all these guys, I'm sure agree with me. I'm not trying to judge you. I've done it before.
Judging.
Well, like, you know, but if this was kind of a wake up call for you, maybe you should reevaluate it. But something to consider is you see game studios close down all the time. And if it upsets you that PC exclusives go multi-platform, because the developers say they aren't making enough money, like Crysis, there's a reason Crysis became multi-platform was because Crysis 1 was one of the most torrented games ever. And Crytek said, we can't be profitable on this. Like, we just barely profited on this one. If we're going to do this again, we need to have this on multi-platform because the piracy is so much lower on consoles. Piracy is almost non-existent. So if it irritates you when games get watered down, when they get spread to other platforms, or if it makes you upset when your favorite studio goes out of business and lays everyone off, you are contributing to that. I mean, you are part of the problem. Torrenting and piracy is a big deal. I mean, you're not physically stealing something from somebody, but you are denying money that goes to the people who make the things you love. And
so you were getting something for free that was not meant to be free.
Exactly. So, you know, I can't make you stop. I'm not going to sit here and try to argue.
Actually, we can. We have the ability.
No.
Just don't make us press the button.
I know,
Black helicopters will come and they will take you away. Don't make us press the button.
I have an itchy trigger finger too.
Yeah, a lot of itchy stuff. But you know, I can't make you stop. I'm not going to try to convince you to stop. That's your decision, honestly. Like, there's nothing I can do about that. But it's important that if you're going to be a sack of crap, at least you understand why you're a sack of crap. You are only hurting the developers because, like, companies like EA, your piracy isn't hurting them that bad. All they're going to do if someone's game isn't popular is they're going to close the studio and move on to someone else. So please support the developers you like. And if you can only afford to buy humble bundles or Steam sales, do that. Like, this is a huge entitlement generation. You don't deserve anything.
Yeah.
Like, just because it exists doesn't mean you get to have it. Just because you can, you know.
I want it now.
I mean, it's part of that, especially if you're like, you know, if you're under 20 years old or something, the generation you've grown up in, I'm not putting all the blame on you because you've kind of had that drilled into you. You have the entire world at your fingertips. You have like just insane amounts of technology available to you. Like, even I'm 24. I'm not that old, but the world is so different from when I was a teenager. I mean, and you guys know too, especially Joel, because you're really old. But like, you know, wouldn't you say,
and
like,
really wise?
Well, the technology world has changed so much, you know, that like you've got this entitlement thing is kind of being shoved down your throat. So I'm not putting all the blame on you, but once you realize that that's what's going on, you do have a responsibility to do something about it, at least for you. So you don't deserve anything. Just because a game exists doesn't mean you automatically get to play it. I mean, all the time, like, we try to give away game codes all the time. And a lot of the times people don't want them because they're like 2 years old, which blows my mind. But like, if you can't afford to game, you can afford to game. Like, there are free to play games that are awesome. There are bundles that literally let you pay anything you want. You can pay 1 penny and get like 7 games. So like, there is not an excuse, especially if you have a gaming PC. If you have a PC fast enough to play modern games, then you can afford to game. You can build, like, if you're not concerned about prettiness, or the highest settings, you can build a computer that'll play all modern games for less than $500, considerably less. So there really isn't an excuse. If you've done it in the past, we're not judging, but don't be a sack of crap. Support the people that do the things that you love if you want them to keep doing them. And don't torrent just to send a message. I did that once because I felt like I was making some big old stand. It really wasn't. It was just an excuse because I wanted to play the game.
Lame.
But, don't...
So much angst.
Exactly.
So edgy.
Don't do that, I mean, do you guys have anything else you want to chip in? I think we're all in agreement.
We are in agreement. I've heard some excuses of let's say I'm a person who torrents, right? But then I get 10 other people into the game, right? And then they buy the game, right? Let's just say it was DayZ, okay?
Yeah.
So I torrent Arma or something like that. And I'm playing. I'm like, and then I get a lot of 10 of my friends to do it, But let's say I get to buy it. Let's say I get 10 of them buy it or 7 of them buy it, right? Is that really good? Well, I mean, maybe that's pretty cool because you got 10 people to buy it, right? But the thing is, the fact of the matter is, most of the time, you may be a very special scenario that happens. The world is going to be a better place with people doing it less, a lot less, and people actually paying for it and stuff. And it starts actually teaching you values of stuff. Like, is this worth $10 for me to buy? I don't know. I guess I'll wait. And then when you finally do buy it, you have a little bit of appreciation, or you have the really pissed off face of like, oh my gosh, this game sucks so bad. That is I made a horrible choice. But
that is a totally a thing, actually. If you guys think we're just making that up because we're adults telling you not to do something, it's called, what's it called? Is it the sunk cost analysis, or is it the I forget? There's some name for it, but when you pay money for something, you do appreciate it more than if you got it for free. Yes, that's why you can have Netflix, like literally thousands of movies and thousands of TV shows. You could never watch everything on Netflix. And people are really feels worth it. There's nothing to watch. But if you had bought 10,000 DVDs, one, you've got a baller movie room. Two, you would never feel like, there's nothing to wear. There's nothing to, there's nothing to watch. Because you've got this huge stacks in front of you, all this stuff.
Yeah.
Things which we obtain too lightly, we esteem too lightly. Yeah. I'm not trying to be deep there. Someone else said that, but it's true. If you don't, the less work you have to put into getting something, the less you appreciate it. So you will appreciate your games more. You will feel better about yourself and support the developers more. It's the right thing to do. It is.
Yeah, I think most people do. I think it's just hard because it doesn't feel wrong to do it. Because you're not in a store physically taking something off.
You
of
wouldn't
the shelf,
download a car.
All those commercials are so bad.
I totally
You wouldn't
would.
kill a policeman.
If you could download a car, I would be test driving. I'd be like BMW 3 Series. I would download a car. I'm just throwing that out there.
Honesty moment. Sorry, not sorry.
There's a difference between a $60 game and a $50,000 German luxury sports sedan.
No, but you need that car for work.
Yeah. Are we now playing the honesty game? Because I was like, dude, if Half-Life 3 got leaked on a torrent site, oh, Lord help me. All value's gone.
Oh yeah, if it leaked on a torrent site before it came out,
I would still buy the crap out of it.
Yeah, I would download it. I would totally buy it day one. But yeah, I would download it immediately just so I could play it. But see, at the end, I'm not making any excuses. That's because that's something I know beyond all shadow of a doubt. I am paying money for this thing, as soon as humanly possible. For example, I pre-ordered a CD earlier this year. A friend of mine also pre-ordered the CD, but since he's a hipster, he pre-ordered the version that came with an LP.
Oh, yeah.
The LP shipped out a week earlier, so he got it early. And he was like, "Hey, I ripped this to MP3s. If you've already bought it, would you like a copy?" And I was like, "Yes, I would," because I've already paid for the music.
Oh yeah,
this is just a way to listen to it sooner. So I guess I would technically still get in trouble for the law with that. I guess I could, but I view that as I've done my dues. I've paid the money. I am supporting the person.
I would imagine in that case, if you got in trouble, you just send them a copy of your invoice. must be some kind of mistake. Look, here's my paid copy.
Yeah.
Like, that would really throw
Nothing
him
I
for
say
a
on this
loop.
podcast can be used against me. And now that I've said that, it becomes legal.
Yeah, can we just all admit to torrenting on a podcast here?
We admitted that we've done it before. What's the
I can hear the helicopters right now.
What's the statute of limitations? The statute of limitations. Where's the
Statute?
limitation?
That's in DC.
You shall not pass.
Oh wow.
You know, I have a record player and I've been buying some records
you
lately, and that's been pretty awesome because they always give you a download code for the MP3.
It's like having MP3s, but it's less convenient and it takes up 10,000 times the space.
I don't get a zillion because I like the amount of music I listen to.
Bonobo. And
That's
then later,
about it. Yep.
Bonobo.
That's about it. Yeah. Pretty much. But it's awesome because you do get it like a week early. It's actually kind of surprising. They're like, it's supposed to ship out on the 20th. I get it like the 1st. I'm like, what the heck? They're like, hey, so we shipped it out early. I'm like, all right. But yeah. Don't torrent, guys, unless it's Half-Life 3 and you're going to buy it because we know everyone will.
So, what do you guys think? Like anything to cap this out?
Get a PS4.
Lots of judgment. Well, that happened at the same time.
Lots
And
of
now
judgment.
No judgment from
Dang
me.
it!
No judgment from me. I get why people do it. Like if you're doing it, I get it. You don't have to explain why you're doing it. I understand. You're getting games for free. Like everyone gets it. Like it's like, I mean, people do drugs because they're fun. You know, like if drugs sucked, people wouldn't do drugs. Well, I mean, never mind. You know what I mean. Like, I know why you're torrenting. You're torrenting because you're getting free games. You don't have to try to sell me on that. I get it.
Yeah,
But-
what is more fun than getting free games?
But just
Free cars.
realize that it's not about, like, it's not all about you, you know?
Yeah.
Be a decent
that's
person.
basically it. There are real people behind these games that you hopefully enjoy. Just keep them in mind.
All right, so do we have anything else to hit on before we leave?
Your mom.
I was waiting for
So
it.
you left that open right there. And I walked right in that door.
Thanks, Joel.
Sorry.
So dependable.
No, but seriously, your mother is a quaint woman.
A quaint woman? What does that even mean?
I'm not sure how to take that.
Yeah, like, I don't... All right.
I'm older than you guys, so it's kind of an older generation type of word.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, you guys may not know this, but Joel actually is quite a bit older. All right, well, quite a bit. That's maybe not fair.
I'm 28. I'm 28, and you're what? You just turned 24?
Just turned 24.
Dang, dude, you definitely feel a lot. Why you don't feel
You
any older?
feel a lot older.
Which parts of me feel older?
There's got to be a better way to say that, Joel. There's got to be
I
a better
meant
way
to
to say
say,
Oh,
dang
you
it,
shut your eyes, you reach your hand out. Which parts feel older? They still work fine, I'll have you know.
Please, let's just end this now. End the suffering.
We should call this our entire whole podcast just called Laughter. That's it. Just laughter.
Basically, I think we just actually added some years onto our life with this podcast.
Oh,
Don't worry,
man.
Joel, you're safe.
You have a couple more good ones in you.
Yeah, there you go. You're welcome.
You don't have to outgrow silly things like portable gaming systems and your PS4 late yet.
Consoles.
It's constant. I wish you guys lived closer so you could come check out the PS4.
Dave lives like 10 minutes away from you.
Well, Dave hates consoles, so he ain't gonna come
I wish I
over.
lived near you. I would come over to your house all the time. I would just like hang out at your house, like you just show up from work and
so I
I was
can feel how young you are.
Hey, Joel. Yeah, this is just going downhill at an alarming rate.
Yeah, we're in a nosedive here, I'm pretty sure.
Well, I feel like we peaked at 30 episodes. It's all downhill from here.
Maybe
Take
you've
us home,
peaked.
Jeremiah. Take us home.
I'm still entering my prime. So, if you want to be a part of the show, write into casualshenanigans@gmail.com. Tweet at casualshenaniga, at germgaming, at evil viking. Follow us all on those things. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Don't subscribe to Joel for no particular reason.
YouTube.com/boundlessmp.
Yes.
Just so you know what you're avoiding.
You should search on my channel my reality TV show review because I have a SpongeBob costume I built.
Now,
Yes,
next week...
I actually made one.
Next week is Thanksgiving, so I'm assuming we're taking the week off.
Correct.
But
Probably.
December 5th. Everyone around on December 5th?
Let me check. I believe
I
so.
think so, yeah.
Okay, because on December 5th, we are going to announce our...
Oh gosh! December 5th. No. There's a Rift Tracks event. No.
What movie?
Santa versus the Martians.
Oh, I've seen that one. Santa Claus Conquers the Martians?
Yeah, Santa. Yeah, that one.
one's
I've
good.
never seen it too. Dang it.
I can mail you a DVD.
Oh man, but
Or you
seeing
can
the
just
theater.
download it from
What time are
somewhere
we gonna
so
do
you
it
can
though?
find
Can we do it early?
Torrenting the slow way, isn't it? DVDs in the mail.
No. So
The world's
that's
slowest
not going to be
torrent.
the special podcast. If you have to miss it, that's okay. That's when we're going to announce what our special Christmas podcast is going to be.
All right. Yes.
And so that's going to be our next
Oh, that's
podcast.
not the actual. Okay, got it. I thought that was the Christmas one.
No. The 5th
Okay.
of December. Make sure you do not miss it. But yeah, it's gonna be awesome. So thank you guys for listening. Anyone have any closing shots before we go?
I apologize for all of these people.
All right, that's one.
That's
I regret nothing. You'll never catch me, coppers.
What? What?
I never torrented.
Stop resisting! Bang! 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 Bang!
Good times, you guys. Good
Stay casual.
Because we definitely are.
Bye,
See you guys.
See you guys.